නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතු සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. Dear children, Sri Lankans celebrate Posong Full Moon Day festival, and also they perform religious rites to commemorate the arrival of Arhat Mahinda in Sri Lanka. I like to enunciate the significance of holding Posong Full Moon Day festival in Sri Lanka and all the benefit gained by the Sri Lankans. But before enunciating the significance of arrival of Arhat Mahinda in Sri Lanka, I like to point out the history, the story relating to how Emperor Asoka was converted to a Buddhist. It was a marvelous story relating to that story because Emperor Asoka, after waging war, very terrible war, very ferocious war, and he was in the final battle of Kalinga. He was very exhausted after waging war, killing or assaulting thousands of people, and also imprisoning thousands of people, and also giving torture to thousands of people. And after doing this ferocious battle in the battlefield of Kalinga, he came back to his palace. After coming back to his palace, he was repented. His mind was full of remorseful consciousness. So therefore, he wanted a certain kind of console, appeasement. Also, he wanted a certain kind of instructions given by a certain monk at that time. Wonderfully, a certain novice monk whose name was Nigrodha was in alms round at that time, early in the morning, seen by the Emperor Asoka, and he was attracted by the serene attitudes of novice monk Nigrodha, and after attraction of that serenity of that novice monk Nigrodha, king called him to the palace through the security personnel. When that novice monk Nigrodha came to the palace, was invited by the emperor to sit down, take a seat. Then wonderfully he sat on the throne of the king, and the king thought that he was had cultivated, that novice monk had cultivated something essential in his mind, and therefore he wanted to listen to that novice monk. After when he was listening to that novice monk Nigrodha recited one of the verses or stanzas included in Dhammapada. I think it is well known by the students all over the island in Sri Lanka. That verse, that stanza was Appamado Ambatapadang, Pamado Machuno Padang, Appamattana Miyanti, Ye Pamatta Yathamata. Vigilance leads to deathlessness or attainment of nirvana. Negligence leads to remaining in the samsara or samsaric journey, or birth and repetition of birth and rebirth as well as death. Those who are vigilant are near to Nibbana or deathlessness, and those who are negligent are like unto dead. After listening to this, the meaning of this verse recited by Venerable Nigrodha, already he was said to become an Arahant. Emperor Asoka decided to become a Buddhist. He was converted to a Buddhist. After his conversion, the whole history of the world changed, because he decided to spread or propagate the message of the Buddha all over the world, and also in India, especially in the province of Magadha, where the Buddha resided at that time. So therefore, as the result of his conversion to a Buddhist, he sent his son, paying special attention to Sri Lanka, because he had thought that Sri Lankans would protect the words of the Buddha. Therefore, he decided to send his son, and also later on he sent his daughter also, Sangamitta, to Sri Lanka, bringing the right branch of the Mahabodhi, where the Buddha was enlightened. So, before arrival of Venerable Arahant Mahinda in Sri Lanka, the ruler of the king, Tissa, later on he was introduced as Devanampiya Tissa, had been associating with Emperor Asoka. Sometimes actually he was he had not seen Emperor Asoka, but as a pen pal, close friend of him. And also King Asoka had imparted one part of the name Devanampriya with the name of Tissa in Sri Lanka, and thereafter Tissa had become Devanampiya Tissa at that time. So therefore, with reference to this source in the history, Buddhist history in Sri Lanka as well as in India, actually we know that Emperor Asoka had paid special attention to Sri Lanka, because he wanted to establish the order of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. That's why he sent 4 higher ordained monks to Sri Lanka, Ittiya, Uttiya, Sambala, Bhaddasala, and also there was novice monk Sumana, and also there was a layman also, Banduka. His name was Banduka. And after arrival of Arahat Mahinda in Sri Lanka, he addressed the king Tissa. After addressing, Tissa was wonderful who was addressing him. After addressing him, Tissa later on, who became Devanampiya Tissa, became also a Buddhist. After establishment of Buddhism in Sri Lanka, I think Sri Lankan people were very, very beneficial, inheriting very valuable culture which had been prevalent in India at that time. Especially the message of the Buddha was very valuable, because it was a new message to Sri Lankans, because already Sri Lankans had been believing in superstitious belief regarding them as having some mysterious powers or some mystic powers for the protection of their lives. But later on, Venerable Mahinda, Arhat Mahinda, he gave renewed interpretations to all the unnecessary belief, superstitious believed by the Sri Lankans at that time. They believed in trees, some big mountains, as well as some mysterious places, thick forest. But however, after renewal of all the interpretations of the all belief adhered by Sri Lankan people, Sri Lankan people began to develop their rational and critical way of thinking. Actually, that is very good heritage to Sri Lankan people, because after inheriting that very valuable words of the Buddha, their pattern of life changed very rapidly. They became civilized nation, well-cultured nations. They began to follow the words of the Buddha, and their style of life rapidly changed. It was very effective to the economical, social and some other development of the Sri Lankan people. And later on, Venerable Arhat Mahinda exposed the words of the Buddha differently. He had understood some belief of the Sri Lankan people at that time, and first of all he exposed the first sermon, Chullhatti Padopama Sutta, which was included very valuable teachings of the Buddha, essence of the Buddha, and later on, after realizing the preliminary belief of the Sri Lankan people, actually he later on exposed some other several suttas also, Vimanavattu, Petavattu and some other suttas. Sri Lankan people absorbed the valuable messages exposed by Arhat Mahinda. And not only that, Venerable Arhat Mahinda had understood very well the developed culture and civilization of the Indian people, especially according to some historical sources. He had seen the well-developed city known as Patliputta. It is known as Patna now in present India. It was very developed country and well civilized as well as well cultured people there, and also he had seen very important sculpture and developed sculpture and developed sculptors there at that time in the city of Patliputta. So therefore, very artistic culture, artistic erections of some buildings, Buddha statues as well as dagobas and some other erections of the buildings were introduced to Sri Lankans immediate after arrival in Sri Lanka. Arhat Mahinda determined to establish that developed culture, developed civilization among the Sri Lankan people. So therefore, he gave some instructions to king and also to some Sri Lankan people how to erect artistic buildings in Sri Lanka. I think already, dear children, you have got to know that the Samadhi Buddha statue established in Mahameghavana or Mahamevana garden in Anuradhapura has been attracted by many because it was very live posture depicted in that Buddha statue. And one day I have heard that Jawaharlal Nehru, late Prime Minister of India, when he visited Sri Lanka, was attracted by that the posture of Samadhi Buddha statue, because it depicted the sublime qualities of the Buddha, lively, metta, loving kindness, karuna, compassion, mudita, altruistic joy, and upekka, equanimity. So therefore, it is said that he shed tears seeing the son of India. So like that, instead of building erection of some or worshipping to some mountains at that time, I think Sri Lankan people began to erect Dagobas. Many Dagobas like Ratnamali Mahachetya and Thuparama, the first Dagoba in Sri Lanka, very artistically, and also some giant Buddha statues also had been established all over the island. So therefore, very developed architectural methods had been introduced to Sri Lanka, and Sri Lankan people were very artistic. And also at the same time, Venerable Arhat Mahinda introduced newly calligraphy, letters to Sri Lanka. Those letters have been known as Brahmi letters. They were very useful to write correctly and rightly. So after writing in those letters, completed letters, Sri Lankan poets, composers of some masterpieces, they composed very valuable masterpieces like Pujavali, Saddharma Ratnavali, and also some other Butsarana, Amavaturu, and some other books, Luvada Sangarava, which have been translated into English also, some of them. I think they compose very valuable masterpieces. They are regarded as masterpieces as the results of getting calligraphy or letters introduced by Arhat Mahinda to Sri Lanka. So therefore, Sri Lankan people were inherited a lot of heritages from after arrival of Arhat Mahinda. And also I mentioned about the rational way of thinking and critical way of thinking. Now today in some countries there is a certain subject known as critical thinking, but if anybody understands the essence of Buddhism, actually that could be the critical thinking to lead one's life correctly and properly. So therefore, I invite to my dear children to understand, instead of performing some religious rituals, instead of them to understand the essential teachings of the Buddha, essence of Buddha, core of the Buddha's teachings. So one who is understood the core or essence of Buddha's teachings actually can understand how to conduct one's life correctly and properly. So therefore, the very valuable heritage imparted to Sri Lanka, inherited to Sri Lankans, is the valuable and very consistent message of the Buddha imparted to Sri Lanka, inherited to Sri Lankan people. And thereafter Sri Lankan peoples and their life became very consistent and also very civilized and well cultured. So therefore, here in this Dhamma sermon, I took effort to expose the benefits and significance of arrival of Arhat Mahinda in Sri Lanka, and also we happen to think about the present situation in Sri Lanka. Instead of understanding the valuable treacherous teachings of the Buddha, some people have begun to perform some unnecessary religious rituals instead of understanding the valuable teachings of the Buddha. So therefore, it is our duty of Sri Lankan people, if we want to venerate to the Arhat Mahinda, who is regarded as the second Buddha to Sri Lanka, I think to understand and practice valuable teachings of the Buddha in their life. So after practicing the valuable teachings of the Buddha in their life, actually I bless you that you will be able to succeed your life, and also I bless you that may you live long in peace and happiness. Sukhi Digayiko Bhava. Thank you very much for listening to my Dhamma sermon.